Hello class, it's Mr. Broussard. I'm sending you this video for the 5th and 6th weeks of our World Literature course in the second 8 weeks for the fall of 2020. The reason that I'm saying both the 5th and 6th weeks is because there will not be a video next week as I will not be physically on campus. No one will be. The campus will be closed in observance of the Thanksgiving holidays. And in fact, the campus itself will close at 5 p.m. this coming Friday, and I myself will not be here after 11 a.m. this coming Friday. And it won't open back up until Monday, November the 30th at 8 a.m., and I will not be back in here until about an hour after that. So I want to make you aware of these things, and that is, why that I will saying this is the next 2 weeks. Both this video will count for this week and next week, and I will go over the assignments that will be dealt with within both of those. First things first, you do have a analysis essay of the Middle Ages works that we covered that is due November the 30th at 2:59 a.m. It is similar to the essay that you did that you did already for the ancient world. It'll be similar in concept. You basically have a nice balance between the summary of the literature that you dealt with in the Middle Ages, the Canterbury Tales that we did cover, the few blades of Marie de France that we did cover, Sir Gawain the Green Knight, which was given to you through a link, and then Beowulf. So you can either choose one of these works or multiples of these works or all of these works. It must, however, limit itself to just the ones in which are assigned through your syllabus. So don't go anywhere different with any of those, but it could be one of them or multiples or all of them if you would like that are shown on your syllabus. And so um, similar to the ancient world essay that you have already done in form, MLA 8th edition, at least 1,000 words, at least 5 paragraphs, all the same things you did before, do again. With the key being, again, it's not as analysis heavy as a Comp 2 would be, but you still need to have analysis. Some of you are doing one of two things. You're either going way too heavily on the summary and barely having an analysis, and I've seen this in both the essays and on the reader responses, or you're having the analysis and the summary parts, but they're like separate entities. It's like you have a clear break between here's a bunch of summary and here's a bunch of analysis, and they're not well integrated. You need a well-integrated essay with the analysis being well integrated within the summary itself. In fact, the way it should go is that you note the point that you're bringing up, you then note the analysis of that point, and then you have the summary immediately after to back up that analysis, and then you tell your reader how that does it. And that's how you have a nice, well-integrated point of analysis within your essays, within your reader responses as well. So because I have seen it. It's some aren't having it, and then some have it, but it's not well integrated. Again, well integrated is key because you don't want to send your reader searching to where, okay, here's where this is, and here's where this is. So I'm going back and forth. It's called the ping pong effect. Analysis, summary, analysis, summary, analysis, summary, or summary, analysis, summary, analysis, summary, analysis. Or here's a bunch here, and here's a bunch here, and so the reader then has to search between them to find what they need. Modern readers aren't going to do that. Modern readers are going to put it down. I'm paid to read it, but I will then note, if I wasn't paid to read this, how happy would I be in the way that, and this is put forth, not very, if you don't have it well integrated, if I've got to go searching for it. I'll note that you had both and you had that nice balance between them, and so it won't totally kill your grade, but it will be noticeable docking of points if you don't have it well integrated because you're making your reader search for something that they shouldn't have to search for. So make sure you do better on that. Overall, you've done well, but it is like you're missing little things here or there. So once you correct that, you should be fine. Because overall, you're doing all right. A lot of, I say it's solid B area, but if you could get it well integrated, like you could start seeing A's pop up, and it would be great. Because I think y'all have the capability of doing those things. It's just a little extra bump to get you there. So do that with this, and you'll be fine. But yes, you have this essay. It is due. Let's just say the Sunday night after Thanksgiving. Let's just say that, because I give you the exact time, and even though you are all sophomores and who should know the difference between AM and PM, I've learned I can't ever assume that for any student. AM means morning, very early morning. So let's just say Sunday night on the 29th before you go to bed, make sure you have it. You've turned it in through Canvas and it's properly done. Everything's great and grand. Um, and then you'll be fine as far as that's concerned. With that, and I actually changed the dates, but I think I'm going to change them again. You do have 2 reader responses that are coming up because of the different things that you will need to be doing this week and next week. So let me note what you're supposed to read and or watch, and then I'll note the changes to the reader response dates. First things first, for this week, you're supposed to read Don Quixote, parts 1 and 2, which is on page 1671 to page 1800. Yes, 129 pages. It is a lot. But 1, it's over your break, so that helps with it. And 2, you do have a movie that you can watch, a version of Don Quixote. In fact, here's the thing, you need to do both. And the reason is, when it comes to the essay that you'll do when it comes to the Renaissance, you will be bouncing between a movie and the literature and comparing, contrasting those things and analyzing those things and comparing, contrasting those things, or between next week's works, which is a play performance you'd watch and then a movie. So you'll be doing, if you took a Comp 2 and had to do an analysis, compare, contrast, say, if you took mine, you definitely did this. You did more likely, unless you were last semester and we had to play with other things because of COVID, you did the 2 Great Gatsby movies. So you would have done that for a Comp 2. Well, in World Lit, what we have here are 2 separate sets. This week's works, which is to read Don Quixote and to then watch Don Quixote. It's from, I think, the year 2000 or 99. It was TNT produced. It's John Lithgow, Vanessa Williams, and I forgot the dude's name, but he's in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Which might be a movie none of you have watched. It was a great kids movie from when I was younger. But they're all in this performance. And what you would do is you would then pick 3 points of analysis within the movie that you also, 3 points of analysis that you saw in the literature, and compare and contrast how it read and then how it was visualized through the movie. And then also noting which one is better, and then noting if you enjoyed the literature or if you enjoyed the movie. So you have that option. But then you also have that option through a play and a movie, which is what is assigned for next week. And next week, again, I will not be physically on campus. But technically, because it's an online course, it goes through any all holidays. Unfortunately, one of the drawbacks, but you signed up for it. Next week's assigned works, there's a classical performance of The Taming of the Shrew in Films on Demand. You have access to it. On the Mississippi Gulf Coast website. It is the American Conservatory of San Francisco version from 1976. So you might actually be able to find that on YouTube if you cannot find it through Films on Demand. I will see if I posted. I have these passcodes. In fact, if you want to look at this right now, hopefully it's not all blurry and everything. You never can tell. I'll hold it up for a good while. These are passwords that you can use, and you will use these at the end of the semester when it's time to do your research essay. But if you note the one that's circled, it is the one that notes from Infobase. The one for Infobase is also the username and password for Films on Demand through our college website. Now you can either go through the college website and then go through library and then put these in, and then find Films on Demand and then put these codes in. Or if you want, go through our announcements tab. And you should be going through all this anyways. This is where you find this video. This is where you find the syllabus. The library database passwords are actually posted to our class. I actually did that last week, so shockingly ahead of the game. Although technically it looks like they're delayed until November the 30th. But that's mainly so there's no confusion as far as what you should use for the research essay that has nothing to do with any of the other essays. That's something I want to be completely clear about. But office hours are here, syllabus. And you have here the Don Quixote movie that's on YouTube. So let me go ahead and make sure that that's still active. And it is. So that's good news. Don Quixote is still active. So it is posted in our announcements. You can find it there, or you just go through YouTube. Although, again, make sure it is the TNT version that has John Lithgow in it. So then make sure that that is done and done properly. The Taming of the Shrew video, it just says link. You click on link. And then actually it is through YouTube. So it looks like I did through YouTube instead of through Films on Demand. So you won't need this passcode. It might throw you off because it's broken up into multiple parts. It is 12 different parts. But you can watch all of them. Make sure it's still working. Always have to make sure because you never know when YouTube gets all cranky and pulls things for copyright infringement. It is still up there, so you have it. Again, from 1976, the American Conservatory Theater out of San Francisco version. It's more of a slapstick comedy version of the play itself. So you'll watch that. That is posted. Also under announcements, this may or may not work. I have posted the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. You are supposed to watch that if you have the availability. What I have done is I have purchased the movie through YouTube. I have access through it.
What's there?
In fact, you can hear a little bit of it there. It's play that. Yeah, see? So you can even hear a little of the audio from the beginning of the movie that I have posted. Now, the very first semester I did this for my students, it worked perfectly fine. For an online course, it worked perfectly fine. Because if you had a physical class, you would be watching this movie in the physical class. It would be a part of a set assignments that you would be doing. And then, here's the beginning. So, go ahead, pause that now. It worked perfectly fine the first semester I did it online. Well, unfortunately, after that first semester, for some reason, it got wonky. My thing is this: if you have an account with YouTube, if you sign into that account, because I pay for it, you should be able to watch it, but you have to go through a few hoops here or there, unfortunately. And so it might be difficult for you to do it, or you just might not have access to it. I think there is a version that is on YouTube, but then it's filled with commercials, and you may or may not be happy with that. Let me go back to here. So, Taming the Shrew, 10 Things I Hate About You, I have posted it. You have the ability to watch it through YouTube yourself if you would like to rent it through that. It is also available on Amazon to rent and Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus. You might also have the DVD itself. So you have multiple means of watching this movie. However, I will not make it completely mandatory because of the issues that we're having through watching it. It's available for you if you have the access, if you're willing to just pay a couple of dollars to watch it, rent it, or have the ability through whatever streaming service that you have. But I'm not making it completely mandatory because even the reader response of that week will strictly deal with Taming of the Shrew. So you won't have to do it for a reader response. It is available for you to use as part of an analysis compare contrast, to do analysis compare contrast between the play performance Taming the Shrew and the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, if you would like to do so. If you don't want to do so because you don't want to pay the money for it, then your option then becomes you must do the two different Don Quixotes, and this is in dealing with your Renaissance essay, because you will have a Renaissance essay that is due, and I've changed that due date to December the 7th. December the 7th, so basically done the night of December the 6th, you'll have a Renaissance essay that's due, and that Renaissance essay will be a compare-contrast analysis essay of either Don Quixote, the actual literature, and Don Quixote, the movie from TNT, or the play performance of Taming of the Shrew with the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. So you have that option if you're willing to pay the money, or if you have access to 10 Things I Hate About You. But if you don't want to spend the money and don't have the access, then fine, but then you must do the Don Quixote. So I give a little leeway, but I have to be strict at a certain point. I can't just let it be a free-for-all. But those are what you'll need to do. So the assignments for the next couple weeks, you'll read Don Quixote, Part 1 and Part 2, pages 1671 to 1800. You will have a reader response that involves just the literature. So that is, but I've changed that due date, and I'll get to that in a little bit. You do also need to watch the movie Don Quixote from TNT that I have posted. It's through regular YouTube, nothing I had to pay for, so you won't have to pay for it either. It's perfectly fine. And again, I have posted it under announcements. And you will also watch the classic performance of the Taming of the Shrew in Films on Demand or through YouTube. I have posted it. It is also accessible. Again, it's broken up into parts, but you'll be able to watch it. Just don't be thrown off by the fact that it's broken up into parts on YouTube. Again, it's the American Conservatory of San Francisco version from 1976. Watch that version, not any other version. Act 1, Scene 1 to Act 5, Scene 2. You must watch all of that. And then, if you have the ability and access to do so for one reason or another, watch the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, either on YouTube, Amazon, or Disney Plus. Again, if you have Disney Plus, it's free because it comes with Disney Plus. Amazon, YouTube, you have to rent. However, if you're through YouTube, hopefully, knock on wood, if you access mine, but make sure you sign into yours, you should be able to access the movie. So, but if not, you have other options. A worst case scenario, you don't get to watch it, then that's fine. But then that forces that Renaissance essay to be about the two Don Quixotes. So, unfortunately, it's just the way it goes. So those are all the different works that we do have. Before I get off the syllabus part and get on to when due dates are, I also want to let you know that, well, it's coming up short. In fact, it comes up on Friday. On Friday, if you're not doing too hot in here and you don't think you'll be able to salvage the grade, you have until that day to withdraw from this course. Just send me an email and you don't tell me why, for whatever reason. Just say, I need to withdraw from the course. I'll withdraw you, no problem, if I'm here. If you send that email after I've left on Friday, but it gets into my email before I get back, then I'll withdraw you the Monday I get back. That's out of fairness to you because I can't get anything done that week because I won't be here. That's one of those things I have to be physical on campus to do, and it's not your fault that I'm not going to be here. It's the way the schedule worked. So as long as you get that to my email before 9 a.m. on Monday, November the 30th, I can withdraw you. There's no problem as far as that. But after that moment, you're in the class till the end. And even if, say, you do withdraw for whatever reason or forced to withdraw, where your grade stands at that moment will reflect what shows up on your transcript. So make sure you're aware of that. But now we get to the due dates when things are due, because we do have certain things that are coming up. So let me go to assignments and things that have now changed. First things first, the Middle Ages essay is now due November the 30th at 2:59 a.m. So get it done the Sunday night before. I have moved the reader responses, but I will now move them again. Reader response 5, which deals strictly with the literature of Don Quixote. In fact, I'll go ahead and change it again. I changed it once, I'll change it again. Just the reader response on the literature of Don Quixote, not the movie, the literature. And trust me, I'll know the difference. I've read the literature and I've watched the movie a gazillion times since I've taught this course. I'm actually going to give you an extra day because if I don't, you won't do it. So now, the reader response on the literature of Don Quixote that is in the textbook is now due December the 1st at 2:59 a.m. So basically, again, before you go to bed on Monday night, make sure the reader response on the literature of Don Quixote is completed. I will then move the next reader response, and it's called a reader response, but I know this won't be something you actually read. Basically, what you will do is you will watch Taming of the Shrew and just Taming of the Shrew. Don't have anything to do with that thing said about you in this reader response. But you will watch Taming of the Shrew, and you're not actually reading it, watch it, and then you'll do a reader, air quotes, response on that play, and that is now going to be moved to Wednesday, December the 2nd at 2:59 a.m. I'm doing that as we speak. And since I'm doing that in that way, again, don't lie to yourself. Just know that on the night of December the 1st, before you go to bed, make sure this reader response is done and completed and turned in properly through Canvas. So, yes, I know that's 3 assignments in a row, but you also you understand that that's 2 weeks from now. So or a week and a half in some cases. So really, you've got time to do it over this week and next week to make sure any and all these things are completed. So, just want to make you completely clear. So, let's just, and I'll just say the nights before, so there's no possible confusion. It's the night of Sunday, November the 29th, before you go to sleep, make sure you have completed the Middle Ages essay and turn it into a proper Dropbox. On the night of November the 30th, before you go to sleep, you need to do the reader response 5 on the literature of Don Quixote. And then before you go to bed on the night December the 1st, Tuesday, December the 1st, you need to complete the reader response dealing with the play performance that you will watch of Taming of the Shrew. So you have those 3, but you do have, again, a week and a half to 2 weeks to make sure all these assignments are completed. My advice, as always, is to get it done early. I'd get it done as much you could the rest of this week, even maybe into early next week, but then not much later than that, because you want to be able to enjoy, if you do have a physical break over next week, to be able to enjoy that, not have it hanging over. But it gives you the option, if you want to be a procrastinator and you want to wait till the last minute and all those things, you have the ability. If you want to, Don't recommend it, obviously, because usually that lends to a very bad grade. In fact, one of you who did really well on most of your assignments, I could see, by the way, when you turn things in, when it's last minuted, and then I saw that drop off completely. And it's like, oh, that's why they waited to the last minute. And it was one of the things where structurally and content-wise, it's great, but there was no editing or proofreading done. It was just a disaster. And it took out a lot of your grades. So all those facets are there, and don't wait till the last minute, but it gives you that option. I used to never want to give any assignments over big holidays because I hated those as a student. But what I've learned is most students would rather have that time to have the extra time to do what they need. But that, you can procrastinate. I try to put a lot of these things in to try to stop procrastination, but I've learned if you're going to procrastinate, you're going to procrastinate. So don't. But you do have that option if you want to wait till close to the last, to where when I tell you the night before, if you're doing it all the day before and the night before, that's what you do. That's what you do. At least in this case, the essay, you can have all day Sunday to do that, whereas you just have read responses over weekdays that are coming up. So you do have those options, and those options are there. Now, do understand, though, that one good thing about it is once all that is done, you're done with the reader responses, and you're done with 2 of the 3 essays, because then after that, all you have left is the Renaissance essay, which, again, will be either the literature of Don Quixote in an analysis compare-contrast with the movie version of Don Quixote that I posted, or a compare-contrast analysis of the play, The Taming of the Shrew, that I've given you with 10 Things I Hate About You that I've hopefully given to you. If not, you have other access to that movie, hopefully, or you just choose the Don Quixote ones. And then that's the Renaissance essay, 1,000 words, at least 5 paragraphs, all the whole shebang. And then that would be due December the 7th. So let's say December the 6th, just to not screw around with that. And then later that week, you will have the Taming of the Shrew proctored exam, and of course it won't be a proctored site because of the issues, obviously, with the coronavirus and all that. So it'll be through Respondus. I've taken all passcodes off because we're having issues with that. So just go in there and get it done. You won't have access to it until November the 30th, and you'll have it until December 10th. So you'll have about 11 days to get it done. I mean, not the whole 11 days. Once you go in there, you have to do it then. But you'll have the ability to do what you need to that. Basically, what you need to do is watch the play and then watch it again and keep watching the play until you have everything down. And then you take that quiz and you kick it out of the park and you're good to go. But it must be done, because if you don't do that quiz, or if the quiz grade is a lot lower than the rest of the grades, then academic integrity violation, because we're basically saying you didn't do your work. If there's a noticeable drop, now if there's a noticeable raise, then we're saying you did really awesome because you really really watched the play a lot. And if you have a drastic change in grades going upwards, we're not going to punish you for that. But if you're up here, like if you're a B or A student, and then all of a sudden you do like a 40 on this quiz, which you shouldn't, we're going to think somebody else did your work for you, and I'm within my rights to fail you. So make sure you do that quiz. It's done. If you don't do the quiz, it's a 0. Again, it's not due until 4:59 p.m. on December the 10th. Hopefully you get that done much earlier, but make sure you do it properly. Watch the videos as many times as you need to in the meantime, and do well, and do really well, and you'll be fine. If you watch the videos at least 3 times, if you watch the play at least 3 times, you'll kick this out of the park. There shouldn't be an issue there. And then you'll have a research essay that's due the next morning, December the 11th, Friday, December 11th, 9:59 a.m. And basically what you will do there is you'll take one of the 3 essays that you've already done in this course, because by then you'll have done 3 of them, and then add source material, MLA 8th edition sourcing and citing, which you should have learned in Comp 2, if not Comp 1, and basically back up the analysis that you have there. And that's what your first one. You're not rewriting a whole new essay or writing a whole new essay. You're just basically taking the essays, one of the 3 essays you already had, and backing up the source material and doing it in proper only 8th edition style. And that's the research essay. And believe it or not, that's the course. It's only an 8 weeks course. We're already halfway done. In fact, I turned in your midterm grade basically because your grades were already graded a few days ago, and that there was going to be no new grades by the cutoff date on the 20th. I went ahead and put your midterm grades, and for the most part, y'all are good. A lot of B's. It's like one of those things where you're just missing out on A's, and I think a lot of it is simply it's not even the grammar stuff. Although some of you it is a grammar thing, and some of you who have even lower grades, it's because of the grammar and because you're not having enough balance and integration of the analysis and the summary. But those of you who are in that B range, and a bunch of you are there, it's most of it is You need a little more analysis, and you need to be a little more well integrated. And once you get that down, I think you'll be fine. Because overall, content-wise, y'all have done really, really well. So I appreciate the work you put in, and that you're putting that content within these essays, within these reader responses, and doing a fine job at that. And believe it or not, that's it. That's it for the course, and that's it for this video. And again, a reminder that there will not be a video next week because I won't be able to do one, both because I won't be physically here and actually have a medical procedure early next week, so I won't be out of commission. So I'm hoping you'll all do well. I hope you enjoy. If you do have a physical break coming up, some of you may not, some of you may, but then have to work. Make the best of whatever you have. If you have a break, great. If you don't, make the best of your time. Hope you're all well. And I will send you another video. It'll be a little less than 2 weeks, or maybe 2 weeks from today. Hope you're all well, and I'll see you then.